You want me to check the phone?
Do you want me to check? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, just give me a second. If it shows up on the phone, then we are good. Okay. Yes, it does. Fantastic. Okay, so let's get going after these short prayers to the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for coming and joining us today. So we'll get going with our Sanskrit reading from the Bhagavad-gita. And we are doing chapter 15, verse number 17 is what I'm told. So we'll get going, and I think we are right on that. So if you can confirm that you can see Vedaves online here.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, very good. And Sutapa, you are safe and sound from the snow and all that?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for the prayer. Thank you so much.
There you go. You are here with us. I'm happy. The prayers of the devotees helped you.
Yes, yes.
All right. So here we are. So we have been talking about the material world for quite some time here. Chapter 15 is about that. And of course, in the beginning, Krishna also alludes to there is a place, Yat Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So he says there's a place where once you go there, nobody returns, like that, right? And then he talks about, we were talking about how you get into the body and get out of it, and people don't know. And so this is all that's going on in the material world. You get in and get out. But this entire material world, he said, has been, is actually held by Krishna. Gama Vishya Cha Bhutani Dharayam Ahamojasas. He said, I'm holding everything there, right? And not only does he hold the planet on which we live, everything that grows in this planet, which is the vegetables, etc., they come from him. They are nourished by moonlight, which comes from Krishna. And then not only that, even after we consume the vegetables, he says, Aham Vaishnava Naro Bhutva, that I come and become the fire of digestion and help you digest those vegetables, by the way. And then he goes into the subtle and he says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha, that from me come remembrance, right? Forgetfulness. And then he went on and he said, Dao Purusha Loke, right? So there are two types of people, fallible and infallible. So we did that, right? Last time. And then now he's going to take you to the spiritual here in this verse. And he says that Uttamaha Purushastvanyaha Parmatmetya Udaritaha Yolokotrayam Avishya Bibhartya Avyaya Ishvaraha. So Uttamaha, Uttama means the best. Purushaha, personality. Tu, but. Anyaha, Anyaha means another. Okay, here it's hiding nothing. And then Paramatma, the Supreme Self. So this is important. Param Atma, the Supreme Self. And iti does, Udaritaha is said, Yaha, who, Loka of the universe, Trayam, the three divisions, Avishya, entering, Bibharti is maintaining, Bharta, right? So Bibharta is maintaining, Avyayaha, inexhaustible, Ishvaraha, the Lord. Let's look at the translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Beside these two, there is the greatest living entity, the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. The idea of this verse is very nicely expressed in the Katha Upanishad 2.2.30 and Shweta Ashvatar Upanishad 6.13. It is clearly stated there that above the innumerable living entities, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated, there is a Supreme Personality who is Paramatma. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. The purport is that among all the living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is one supreme being, one supreme living personality, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains them and gives them all the facility of enjoyment according to different work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand him is eligible to attain perfect peace and not others. So perfect peace will come only when you bring in the Supreme Personality of Godhead into our lives. Om Tat Sat. Okay, so let's go here further and look at the word one more time here. So a couple of things I wanted to point out in today's words. And by the way, is it readable or is it too small? Can
It's
somebody?
readable,
It's
Mataji.
okay, Mataji.
It's okay? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me first put down some sort of a reading order because it all gets messed up today. So I know that Sonia was there and then Aruni joined us. And then after that, I lost track. I think Varshana and Sutapa joined together and they have been put on the waiting room. And because I think I forgot to switch it on and I started admitting others who came later. Is that all? Anybody I'm missing? Anybody doesn't show up on my screen? Okay, looks like good. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you change the yellow color, Mataji, to a darker color?
This one?
Yes. Yeah. Down and this one. Yes.
This is so funny. Somebody was telling me a joke about there were two ladies, two young girls. They were thieves and they had stolen something from a shop, and the shopkeeper was running after them. So and then finally he caught them, and apparently it turned out that they had gone to his shop and they had stolen a sari from his shop, and so he takes them to the sarpanch, the guy in the village who metes out justice. And so he said that, she's a thief, she is stealing stuff. And she said, no, I have not been stealing things. And then he said, okay, you know what? She has been coming 3 times. She has come to my shop and she has stolen things. And she said, no, I've not been doing that. So then he says there was a closed circuit TV in his shop. So he shows that, hey, this is what has happened. And that's what has been going on. And then, so yes, obviously she was caught that she had gone there 3 times. And then the serpent said that, why did you go 3 times and you have been there? The evidence is showing that you went there 3 times. And why are you saying that you did not steal at all? And so she said, the first time I went to I took a sari, I did not like the color. So I had to return back and steal it again. So I was just reminded of Varshana Bhatini saying, I don't like the color. Give me a new one. Okay, here we go.
I find it difficult to read.
I'm just joking here. Little joke.
I understand.
Okay, let's see. Is the green better? Green is better?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So, all right. So, okay, here we go. Right, so a couple of things I wanted to tell you about this, and that is that there is a tya here, okay? Remember, there's a T and a Y. So this is not Paramatmeti, it is Paramatmetya. So those who understand Hindi, you see it is over here. Half ta, and then there's a ya, tya, uda, okay. And then there is hri. So there's a ri there, right? Hri. So do you see this is the ha, and then this is the ri. Inside it, there is a ri, right? This part is the ri. Okay, so uda, hri. You see? H and R with a dot underneath it, right? And then there is a sha here, S with a accent on it. So, avishya. Uttama Purisha Tva and Yaha. Yaha. So today is we have to open our mouth today. Uttamaha Purishastvanyaha Paramatmeti Udharitaha. Right? So there is a Ishvaraha. So there is a lot of these here. Okay. So those were the only things I wanted to point out, and we'll go through our regular exercise of going through the word meanings first, because it's important for us to understand that. So here it says Uttamaha. Uttamaha means the best. Uttama means the best. Purushaha, personality. Okay, I don't know why this is giving me grief. Personality. Tu, but. Anyaha, another. Paramatma, the Supreme Self. Iti, thus. Udaritaha is said. Yaha, who, loka, of the universe, trayam, the three divisions, avishya, entering, bibharti is maintaining, avyaya, inexhaustible, ishvaraha, the Lord. Okay, so let's look at some of these words, right? Iti means what?
Thus.
Thus.
And three divisions, what is being mentioned here?
Trayam.
Triyam.
Trayam.
Is it triyam or is it trayam? What is it?
Trayam.
Trayam,
Trayam.
Mataji, T-R-A.
Trayam.
And why is it trayam and why is it not trayam?
Okay, yeah.
It is
Trayam.
Triyam.
It is
Trayam.
trayam? Okay, Vaishana Mata
Trayam.
is trayam and we'll take it. Okay, and then what is personality mean? Personality.
Purushaha.
Purusha.
Purushaha, very good. And what is the best?
Uttamaha.
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 Uttamaha shloke, right? So this is also, Uttama word is very interesting. I mean, we usually use it for best, which is what it is being used here, but we also use it for transcendental, right? Which is the best, in other words. So, tam means darkness. And so in this material world, there is darkness. We need the sun to light it up, right? Things are not self-effulgent. And so ut means beyond. So uttama means something which is beyond the darkness. So something which is beyond the material world is the spiritual world. So uttam, for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, several times we say uttam shloka, right? So it is not the best of the shlokas in that sense of it, that best, but it is also that shlokas which are beyond this material world. And Krishna is described by uttam shloka, means he can only be described by shlokas which is beyond this material world, like that. So uttama, all right, and then loka, what is loka? What does loka mean?
World, universe.
The world or the universe, very good, all right. And if you have to enter, Krishna enters the world, what does it say here?
Avishya.
Avishya.
Ishya.
Avishya, right? There's A has a bar on it. So Avishya. Okay, and what is the supreme self?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. Very good. And what is self?
Atma.
Atma. And what will be the best Atma?
Uttamaha. Oh.
Best Atma?
Ishvaraha.
Ishvara.
Ishvara.
Best
The
Atma
Lord.
is the Lord. Okay, so by the meaning you give me that, but I'm looking for words. If you were to use the word for the best soul, what will you say?
Paramatma.
Uttama Atma.
Uttama Atma. There you go. Yeah, we're looking for words, right? We're doing word meaning. Yeah. Yeah, which is, of course, yeah. There are two things. One is one goes by the meaning and one is one goes by the words. Okay. And then when people say something, they give an example. They say something.
Udhartaha.
Udharitaha. Udharitaha. So, it comes from here. Udharitaha. Okay. And what is the Sanskrit for another?
Anyaha.
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 It is anyaha or anyaha?
Anyaha.
Anyaha.
Anyaha. Okay. Anyaha. Very nice. And what is three?
Trayam.
Trayam.
Okay. And if somebody is, what is another?
Anyaha.
Anyaha.
Anyaha. And if somebody is maintaining something, what do you call that?
Vibharti.
Vibharti.
Vibharti. Very nice. Okay. And if something, you keep on using something and it doesn't, finish.
Avyayaha.
Avyayaha.
Avyaha. Avyayaha. Yeah. Avyayaha. Avyayaha. Avya is inexhaustible. So vya means exhaust something, and avyaha is something that does not exhaust, right? Okay. So are we good? Now close your eyes and give me one word that you heard today.
Vibharti.
Uttamaha.
Vibharta.
Vibharti. Wow. Vibharti is trending, huh? And then somebody said Uttamaha. Is that
Yes, Mataji.
very nice? And Sadhana Mataji, are you saying something?
Avyayaha.
Avyayaha. Very nice. She was practicing
Trayam.
Avyayaha.
Avyayaha. There she's opening her mouth very nice, and that's how you have to open it. Right. Okay. Any other words? Anybody
Yes,
else
Mataji,
remember?
Triumph.
Graham. Very nice. What else?
Uddhartiraha. Uddharita.
Udharita.
Uda, hri. Hri is from heart. Uda, hri, taha. Uda, hri,
Udhartiraha.
taha. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the age gets transferred. It is not udha, it is uda. Da. Simple D is there, right?
The meaning is the same as uchyate, right? So
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the rules of Sanskrit that, when you write Sanskrit poetry, it's very difficult to write because there are a lot of rules. So, there's the meter there. There are rules on, certain letters can only follow certain other letters. So when they write a Sanskrit shlok, it is not just that it gets written like that. A flow comes, hum bane, tum bane, ek duje ke liye, not like that. It has to be written, and the thought will come. It has to be written, and then the grammar is applied to it. So they will go back and forth before they come into the right grammar. And here is where some of the very important, some of the very famous poets come into picture, and the Gyanis and the Pandits come into picture, that they're able to compose verses on the spot, which are flawless from the grammatical aspect. On the spot, they will just, hey, say something about this, and then they will, start off. And not only one or two, they will spew like 100 verses at you in one go. And so it's amazing that how scholarly people can be. Now, we don't have to be scholarly, we have to be bhaktas. So let me tell you that. It doesn't matter, right? In fact, in the Bhagavatam, it even says, there's a verse there which says that, if glorification of God, if they're coming from the heart, even if they are improperly constructed, and this is what, is like a small child, they pray to the Lord. They are not going to use the best of the Sanskrit, right? They use all broken language, but it's coming from the heart, hrita, from your hrit, it's coming, so that's fine. That's okay to do that, right? So, yeah, so why did we use uchyate and why are we using udharita? Sorry?
Here you see all the words are ending in yaha.
Yeah.
Vanyaha, udharitaha, avishyaha, ishvara.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I used it.
Yeah, Vishya is not running. Avishya is not ending in yaha.
But it's not aha, but it's still yeah. So it's still following the meter.
Yeah, of course, yes, rhythm is there. Yeah, rhyme and rhythm is there, but there's more to it there. So it's complicated. It's it's not easy. Sanskrit poetry is not easy to spew, and that is why to do these kind of things, you have to involve Krishna in your life, and then it comes very naturally to you. And as long as Krishna is not involved, then there will be a lot of mistakes there. And we have this famous story in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was just a 14-year-old boy, and he defeated Varshana. Who did he defeat? Keshav Kashmiri, right? Keshav Kashmiri, who was a big pandit from Kashmir, and he was very pompous, and so he went toured all over India, and he defeated everybody in his he would challenge them. And then he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was 14-year-old boy. He was teaching grammar, and he said, "Oh wow!" And then he came to Navadvip, which was supposed to be a big seat of understanding and learning at that time. And so he said that, "I want to defeat," and all the pandits flew away because they knew that this man is going to defeat us. And so then he just found Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching 14-year-old boy, who was teaching Sanskrit grammar to students. And then he said, "Oh, I heard you're a pandit. You're teaching these people." So he said, "No. I'm just teaching them grammar, and they just love me so much. So that's why, they're sitting here, they're listening to me. Not that I'm anything like that," he says. And then he says, "Okay, I want to challenge you." So he said, no, I cannot take up your challenge. I'm just a mere 14-year-old boy. And so, but then he insists, and then he says, "Okay, tell me to recite a poetry on any topic that you say." And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looks, and he was teaching by the banks of the Ganges. So he said, "Okay, the Ganges is flowing, so why didn't you tell about the Ganges?" And so Keshav Kashmiri, utters 100 verses on the Ganges in Sanskrit on the spot. constructs them, and he's reciting it, he's constructing the side. So all that is happening so fast, all the grammar, the you know, the rules, the whatever, you know, the meter, everything is going on so fast. And then he's seeing that. And then after he does all that, then he looks at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he says that, you know, so what do you think about these verses? So he says, yeah, they're all fine, but there are some mistakes in these verses. And he says, mistakes? Nobody points mistakes in my verses. What mistakes are there? And then he said, well, you are saying, you're describing Lord Shiva, and he's saying, and Ganges, and you're saying that Ganges is huge. Ganges starts from the top of Lord Shiva's head. He says, that's wrong. Those of you who have read Bhagavatam, you know that Ganges doesn't start from the top of Shiva's head.
From the
Right?
lotus
Shiva
feet
had
of
just,
the Lord.
yeah, it starts from the lotus feet of the Lord. There you go. And Shiva had just held her for some time on his head, so that to stop the gush of the waters that are coming from the transcendental ocean. So he pointed out many, many things on, you know, Bhavani, Bhartu, and things like that. So until and unless we bring in Krishna into our lives, you know, and once Krishna comes in, all these verses will come naturally into you. And you yourself will notice that as you are progressing in devotional service, and we all are progressing in devotional service. I mean, just look at just 6 months ago, just staying in touch with these Uttam shlokas, right? Just spending a day in a week, half an hour in a week to go through these verses. That is the most important thing. And that's why I'm spending a little time here on emphasizing that part, then, you know, on the grammar part of it. It's good to pronounce it correctly, yeah, right? And try to do that. You know, it's an offering to the Lord that we want to recite his verses properly. But if you can't, and if the heart is still in it, your hrit is there, then that's all that matters there, right? Okay, so enough of talk. Who wants to go in first? Is it Sonia today?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, you want to give it a try on the break?
Yes.
Okay.
Uttamaha Purushastva Anyaha.
Purushas.
Uttamaha Purushastva Anyaha Paramatme Tva Paramatmetya Udahritaha Yo Lokatrayam Avishya Bibhartya Avyaya Ishvaraha.
Very nice. Okay, Arni.
Uttamaha Purushasva Anyaha Paramatmetya Udhahritaha Ya Lokatrayam Avishya Bibhartya Avyaya Ishvaraha.
Ishvaraha. Okay, very nice. Varshanavadi.
Uttamaha Purushasva Anyaha Paramatmetya Udahritaha Yo Lokatrayam Avishya Bibhartya Avyaya Ishvaraha.
Very nice. Okay.
Uttamaha Purushasva Anyaha Paramatmetva
Paramatmetya.
Okay, Paramatmetva
Say tya.
Tyagi. Paramatmetva Udaritaha Yo Lokatramyam Avishya Bibhartva Avyaya Ishvaraha.
Say ty tya. Right? Paramatmetya. Bibhartya. And not twa, and not ti, or not ta. Tya, as in tyagi. You have heard Mr. and Mrs. Tyagi. Right? So it's the same. Tya.
Bibhartya.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? Sadhana Mataji.
Uttamaha Purushas Anyaha Paramatmetya Udahiritaha yo lokatrayam avishya vibhartya avyaya ishvaraha.
Ishvaraha. Okay. All right. So let's just close our eyes again and let's look at some of the word meanings as to what we understood from this verse, right? So what is the meaning of Uttamaha?
The best.
The
The
best.
best.
The best. Okay. What is the meaning of Purushas?
Personality.
Personality.
Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, you have to close your eyes.
Personality.
Okay. And then what is the meaning of Tu?
Thus. Oh, no.
Tu.
You.
But.
But.
Tu means but. Okay. And then Anyaha.
Another.
Another.
Very nice. And then what is Paramatma?
The
Supreme.
Supreme Lord.
Supreme.
Supreme what?
Lord.
So
Supreme Atma. Supreme
Atma.
personality.
Yeah,
Paramatma.
Atma. Yeah. Soul or the self. Okay. Super self. Okay. Then what is the meaning of Iti?
thus.
Does. Yeah. Iti is thus. So tu is but and iti is thus. Right. All right. And udahritaha.
Is said.
Example.
It is said or example is given. Okay. Yaha.
Who.
Who. Okay. And then loka.
World. Universe.
World.
The
Universe.
universe. Okay. And there were 3 divisions of the universe. So what is 3 divisions of the universe?
Trayam.
Yeah.
Very good. And then if you enter into it, what is that called?
Avishya.
Avishya.
Avishya. Okay. And if you maintain it, what do you call it?
Vibharti.
Bibharti. Bibharti. Very nice. And then if something does not exist,
Avyayaha.
Avyayaha.
Avyaya.
Very nice. And then what is the Lord? If somebody is the Lord and the
Ishvara.
controller.
Ishvara.
Right.
Ishvara.
Yes, right. Okay. So here Ishvara is controller of the Lord. Okay. Now let's get back, open our eyes and look at the translations. In the translation, he's saying, besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the supreme soul, the imperishable Avyayaha, Lord himself, who has entered Avishya, right? The 3 worlds, Trayam, Lokatrayam, and is maintaining them, Vibharti, right? Okay. All right. So let's go. And now do the full. Are you ready for the full?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So let's do one round of the full. Going with
Mataji, besides these two, so we are talking about the previous
verse. Yes.
shloka.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
So
Very
fallible and infallible, right?
Fallible
Yes,
and infallible.
Yeah.
exactly right. Yes, very good. Okay. Uttamaha.
Yeah.
Sonia.
Mataji, hearing from you first.
Uttamaha purushastvanyaha parmatmitya udharitaha yo lokatrayam avishya bibhartya vyaya ishvaraha. So here yo loka, this should not be ka. I made a little bit extra emphasis. Yo lokatrayam avishya bibhartya avyaya ishvaraha. Okay, go for it, Sonia. Thank you.
Uttamaha purushastva anyaha parmatmetya udaritaha yo lokatrayam avishyaha bibhartya avyaya ishvaraha.
Very nice. Ari Mataji.
Uttamaha purushastvanyah paramatmetya udharatah yo lokatrayam avishya vibhartya avyaya ishvaraha.
Very nice. Okay.
Uttamaha purushastva anyah parmatmetya udaratah yo loktrayam avishya bibharte avyaya ishvaraha.
Ishvaraha. So for the first line, Uttama Purushastva Anyaha, right? So usually the twa, and when it's followed by a something starting with the A, we combine both of them, both the words. Nit uttamaha purushas tvanyaha, tvanyaha. You see, if you pronounce it tvanyaha, it'll be easy on you, and it'll also go with the flow. If you say uttamaha purusha tva anyaha, the flow stops. Okay, who's next?
Yes,
Sutapa?
Mataji. Yeah. Uttamaha purushastvanyah paramatmitya udharitaha yalokatrayam avishya vivartya avya isharaha.
Ishvaraha. Very nice. Okay. Sadhana-ji?
Uttamaha purushasva anya paramatmeti uddha rittaha yo lokatrayam avishya piparte avyaya ishvaraha.
Okay. Now look at this and then do the whole thing again. But pronouncing it full words, right? Not breaking it down, but give it one more try.
Uttamaha purushastvanyaha paramatmeti udhartyaha yo loktrayam avishya pibharti avyaya ishvaraha.
Right. So this is TY will be Tya.
Tya.
Paramatmitya udaritaha yolokotrayam avishya vibhartya vyaya ishvaraha. Okay, everybody together for the last time today. 1, 2, and 3.
Uttamaha
Ishvaraha. All right. So then here there were certain things that are described about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what are some of the things what were some of the qualities of the Lord? What were described here? And give me in Sanskrit. Give me the answer in Sanskrit.
Avyayaha, imperishable.
Avyayaha. Okay, Avyayaha.
Uttamaha.
Uttamaha. Vibhartihi. Very nice.
Avishyaha.
Avishyaha. He's entered. Yes.
Uttamaha.
Uttamaha, greatest.
All right, good. So you're thinking in Sanskrit now. Very nice. So I'll take your leave now and we'll meet again
Thank
next
you, Mataji.
Saturday.
Thank
God
you,
willing.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
God Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Oh, Shruti joined us here. I missed her. Did you join us just now, Shruti?
Mataji, 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago, I didn't see you. Sorry about that. You want to recite?
Yes, Mataji.
So please go ahead.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. Uttama purusastanya paramatmeti udaratah yo lokatrayam avisya vibharti anyaya isvarah.
Yeah. So just a few things that I was pointing out, and you joined us late, so maybe you missed it. So when there is a T and a Y, so Shruti, you are able to read this. Are you able to read Hindi?
Yes,
language?
Mataji.
Okay, yeah, right. So wherever there's a ta, half T, half ta, and a ya, right? That is what is written as T and Y here in the in the transliteration. So it will be tya, like as in tyagi ji, right? And not T. So it's not Paramatmeti, it is Paramatmetya. Paramatmetya udaritaha yo lokotrayama vishya vibhartya. Again, vibhartya avyaya ishvaraha. Like that. But good. So I think I introduced Shruti to all of you yesterday, right? That she's going to be joining our classes, yeah, from tomorrow, from next week onwards. She did this, yeah. She's in the Bay Area. We met her through book distribution. I think Venugita Mataji met her there. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so it's 7 minutes past 7. I'll take your leaves here. Again, done to pronounce to all of you. We'll meet again next week. Hare Krishna.